Yes, Cou Cou is a children's store, 0 to 8 years. Next season we'll cater to 10 years as well. Clothing, lifestyle products, kitchenware, toys, lots of beautiful toys, and we have products from all over the world, so I source things from everywhere. Locally, I have some designers from the South End, to California, to Australia, and across Europe and everywhere. Just find really beautiful products for children. My background is photography, actually. I was a creative director of the World Photography Organization based in London for the majority of my career, for about 10 years. And I was doing just a huge amount of traveling and lots of great, fantastic work. But when I had my daughter, I wanted something that was closer to home and a complete career change, and I dreamt up a children's store. I have, well, she's now 5. She turned 5 a couple of days ago, and I have a son now as well. He's 8 months. She's a bit of my muse, and she tries everything on, and she's our little model for our lookbook. But yeah, it's nice to have a boy in the mix now too, because I'm focusing a little bit more on the boys' side of things. Boys' fashion is difficult to find really great, creative, beautiful styles. Fashion tends to cater towards girls a lot more, and there's a big reason for it. Girls just like fashion more, but there's certainly beautiful boys things out there too. But she definitely, she helps me choose things for the lookbook and for some shots, and she's involved. She likes being here. Honestly, it was the reason I chose a children's store was more due to a frustration, I think, as a mother, of not finding really beautiful products in my area, or really, across the States. For the most part, it was difficult to find things that were really beautifully made in small batches by very creative designers, and things that would last and really had a story to them that weren't mass-produced. So it was hard to find those unique pieces, and I kept coming back from my travels in my previous career with a suitcase filled with products, and when I was just brainstorming one night, I said, why not open a kids store and bring some of those gorgeous things out here and find the gems within the States as well, which there are so many. We have a lot of customers that are from Wellesley already. We have a store in the South End, and that's where I first opened a little over 2 years ago. And I always knew that if I were to open a second store, it would be Wellesley. And the developers of the retail space in the Belclair actually came to me and said, would you like to open a second store? And I just had my baby at that time, and I said, absolutely not. And then I slept on it for a few nights, and we talked a little bit more, and I came to see the space, and I decided to go for it. So this is a company called Rice. They're from Denmark, and they make very high grade children's melamine products, so kitchenware. This is melamine, and it's the highest concentration of melamine, so it's very durable, very strong, very heavy as well. You'll never see the scratch marks like you do on other children's. Melamine is a component, it's like a plastic, but it gets mixed with plastic, but in other products what you'll find is that the plastic is a lot greater than the melamine component, because the melamine is much more expensive, and so then they're just a lot more, they're not as durable, they scratch, and they're also not as good for you. So these are BPA free, they're dishwasher safe, and they have been approved by all of the European regulations, which are a lot stricter than our US regulations here. Yeah, and they're just beautiful. They're beautiful designs and really brighten up the kitchen cupboards, and are great for birthday parties or for little gifts. So this is definitely our top seller. So for shoe display, we really wanted to come up with something different. I have a really great shoe display in the Boston store, which just kind of came with the store and became this beautiful house. You have to see it, but we came up with these children's travel play suitcases and put them up against the wall to create that display, which we think is really neat. It came out well. Is Thimble Collection, and they make these amazing reversible tunics. so you get 2 dresses in one. Their whole production is based on very playful, wearable clothes that doesn't wrinkle either. Of course, when the child gets dirty on one side, you just turn it over and have a whole new dress on as well. They start in baby sizes and go up to age 4, but next year they'll start going up to age 6. And then another one of our favorite brands that is loved by so many across the world is Cou Cou Vintage. They're very romantic. They're from Spain. Very romantic clothing, romantic vintage, lots of lace, lots of flowers, lots of embroidery. And then for boys, I don't know if you can actually see it here, but there's so much detail in them, from the frayed elbow patches and the pockets. And it's just a very kind of casual vintage style. This is a baby style within the same brand, Cou Cou Vintage here. So very beautiful. And then another brand I can show you, which is also a US-based brand, is Riley & Crew. And there is this frenzy across the States right now. The moment these collections go live, they sell out. Certain styles definitely sell out within the first week. These really fun, whimsical from Barcelona. These are all handmade, and they're sleep sacks, but then they also convert into a stroller sack. There's universal stroller slots in the back. And then there are beautiful play gems. This is the baby's first toy. It's a wooden play gem from a company in Denmark, an architect couple that became parents and decided to start a joint venture creating these beautiful handmade wooden accessories and toys and hooks and play toys for children as well. We like to focus on things that don't have batteries, aren't shouting at you, aren't asking you to come play with it. So really promoting creativity and pretend play, which is something that we feel is sometimes lacking in the toys today, and also things that are really well considered and well made, made from eco-certified wood, from paints that are non-toxic. Kids tend to put their toys in their mouth up to a certain age all the time, so we have brands like Le Toy Van, which is out of Britain. Tenderleaf Toys is a brand new one that we just brought on, which we're absolutely loving. They have some really great boy focused toys as well, which is sometimes hard to find, things that aren't related to cars or fire trucks or dinosaurs. And this one, for example, is Life on Mars, and it's a whole wooden set with the little moon buggies and the little people. One of them's a cat astronaut, and they're actually growing vegetables in here. And so there's this whole fantasy and pretend play world in here, which really gets explored quite a bit. And then for toy storage, which is always very necessary, we have these toy boxes that are peppered throughout the entire store. And these are hand woven in Madagascar, actually, from raffia. From hand-dyed raffia, and they're just really beautifully finished and come in all sizes and different shapes. There's some that are house-shaped, and then these round domes are square, and they're a really great alternative for storage, and also really great gifts to give as a new baby gift, which becomes something that the child will have up until they're 5, 6, 7 years old. And that's also made by Rice, the same company that makes all of the dishes from Denmark. But yeah, we've got a few new brands that will be launching just ahead of Christmas that we're excited to bring on board. We're always looking for something new. And we will be participating in the holiday stroll and things that are local to the neighborhood, and probably have a couple of small events, little craft events and things for the kids. In the South End store we have much bigger space, and we have a big playroom in the back, so we get to host children in different ways, which hopefully we'll figure out a way to incorporate that here too.